Hi everyone, my name is Leeroy Jason, aka The Real Click Clack, and I am on Essay Creatives today. Everyone tries to call me Jason by my surname. My name is Leeroy Jason. I'm a photographer, I'm a storyteller, I'm a father, I'm a traveler, and I'm a empathetic, sympathetic individual who is all about capturing stories with my tool of trade, which is the camera photography. The partnering with Afro-Punk and Constitution Hill and how that came about is I exhibited a body of work called Everything Must Fall, and that was with Con Hill and the Constitutional Court. I just feel like that body of work deserved to live in a place where we could rectify the past and prepare ourselves and give rise and strength to our constitution, which I believe in as a South African. And then Afro-Punk, I was shooting for Afro-Punk Paris and Afro-Punk Johannesburg, and they saw the work that I do is very similar, or the body of work is very similar to the things that Afro-Punk stood for, which was no isms. And that is how that collaboration came about. For the longest time, getting my work shown in gallery spaces was so hard. Reason why is because I was constantly doing so many disciplines, because I'm a hybrid. As a photographer, I'm a mixture of journalism meets commercial. So a lot of the times, a lot of art curators couldn't really place my work in galleries because they didn't know how it could fit into it. As much as I hated it at the time, but it also forced me to think broader outside of that. So that's why I like showing my work off in spaces that can affect others and have more viewership. And I transform spaces. That's what I do as a photographer. Now to see my work do the same thing is also incredible. So an unexpected emotional experience that I went through was the transition I went through when I was shooting Afro-Punk Paris and then getting into a plane and going to Israel and Palestine at the same time. Culturally, it was so weird going from no isms to all the type of isms in that area. It was very traumatic. I think, that was the first time I got home into OR Tambo, and I kissed the OR Tambo's floor, just being happy to be back home. As a photographer, people just generally will give you access into spaces that you would really find hard to do without a camera. So as a photographer, being sensitive to people's living conditions, relationships is very important. So what I usually do is I carry a lot of humility with me. I carry a lot of respect to understand people's environment. So that's how I go about doing it as a photographer. The number one technique that I would definitely suggest is watching eye movement. Eye movement gives you an ability to kind of see how your model would like to be portrayed. And the second one is definitely engaging in your subject or engaging with your subject to kind of bring out the emotive part of their expression. What advice would I like to give any upcoming photographer? Well, essay creative, let me give you three. One would be the warmer the bed, the colder the life. So what that means is the longer you stay in bed, the harder it will become to turn your dreams into a reality. All right, second advice I would give essay creatives right now would be how do we become more profitable as a photographer? Start building relationships with your suppliers. A lot of photographers think they have to start out and be professional at the point that I'm in by buying the equipment. They don't have to do that. Go to places like Glow, rent out gear, and you'll have the ability to still produce high quality at an affordable rate. The third advice I would give you is to not use Instagram as your point or your source of referencing as a creative. Try and go look deeper, try and travel, try and go into uncomfortable spaces and use your camera to relay stories and also relay experiences to others.